Hey everybody, this is Matt McQueenie with the DXP CMS March Madness 2025. And here we are for yet another Selection Sunday show in this year's competition. We have just completed the Sweet 16 round. And again, just to bring it back to how we got here, we go through a nominating phase, and around 50 companies were nominated for DXP CMS March Madness 2025. Then we go through a seeding phase where each one of the companies has a comment in a post, and all of the reactions registered on that comment count as votes. And the one who has the most votes, number one, goes to um, is the number one seed, and then obviously the 16th most voted company gets the 16 seed. Now that's out of about 50 companies, so making it to the Sweet 16 is no small feat. But what happens here in this week of the Sweet 16 and right throughout to the end of this competition, we do have companies going up against each other, again, based on those seedings, just like the real March Madness, where the one seed goes against the 16, the 8 goes against the 9, 2 against 15, and so on and so forth. And the brackets follow a standard calculation where 116 plays 8-9, 512 plays 413, 314 plays 611, and 710 plays 215 as we move our way through the rounds. So this first round was unbelievably competitive, as it always is. Just amazing viral push going on. It's always amazing to see what happens each year in this. We've had a lot of the companies that were used to doing this continue to show what they have. And then we've had a lot of new entrants into the race. Companies like Flotiq and Simplicity and Remarkable and Brightspot. They all jumped into the mix, and that is the most fun part of this is the companies who are new entrants into the race each year. It's always fun to see how they mobilize their organizations, their Slack channels, their messages they put out there to get votes. We had Karen Kohler, the head of marketing over at Umbraco, make a great video this week. Really appreciated what she did as well, because when you have all of this engagement and reach and impressions, yes, it's based on people making reactions to move you forward. But those reactions create a groundswell of, again, amazing reach. And so, what you do with that groundswell, just having fun and doing the votes, is awesome. It does get visibility, it does get a team spirit across companies working together, not against each other. But also, if you can tell your stories on top of that wave, now you do get out there, get your business imperatives out there. And what I liked in her video is that she essentially said, we're calling on our, I think, 250,000 community members, such and such number of partners. It was a really good way to tell your story as a company and your community to try to get those votes as well. So, really well done there, Karen. And we put out a bunch of scouting reports this week. We have several more to go up, and we'll have several interviews to book. I just have to get that done with the contacts. I think we've had 6 scouting reports submitted, and we have 3 that are up. We also have the Behind the Madness interview we did with Andrew Kumar, and we had one with the founder of Squiz from last year, which we reposted. Happy to do more with Squiz, of course. But had that. We had Simplicity create their own. We had React Bricks put out that really cool demo of creating a page within their system for a scouting report. I do have the PDF scouting report to make for them and Matteo Frana. We also had Plate come out. So really good stories, and we have a few others we will be putting up imminently this week. But why don't we go to the results? So the way that this worked was voting began on Monday this week, 9 a.m. Eastern Time, and it closed 9 p.m. Eastern Time on this Sunday, March 23rd. I did look at the votes immediately because My goodness, we might have had our closest matchup ever. Like one vote. I mean, unbelievable. And not one vote at like 20 to 19, one vote at like 91 to 90. So just an epic battle in that one. So we'll get to it. But we do look at those votes and where they close. Really appreciate all the comments. Comments don't actually count, but I love them. Why do I love them? Because comments drive even more virality on the post. Comments often are accompanied by somebody voting the right way, but then just wanting to be a cheerleader for their vote for their company. So keep the write-ins coming. It's great. It pushes the post itself to have 132 comments. And when you think when I made the post itself, it started with 8 because those 8 comments are Flotiq versus Optimizely, Plate versus Remarkable. It's those 8 competitions. So when we look at 132 comments, that means that 124 more comments were added to this. So keep them coming, but make sure you vote the right way. And we do look at the vote on the reaction, right? In terms of the clap or the light bulb. That is what we judge this on. I do like to count and look at the comment count because I think it's really fascinating and interesting and shows even more passion for the choices. But I have found in doing this that the comments do end up evening out. So if a company wins in the reaction, when you count the comments, it's usually at least 50-50 or more towards the organization company that won based on the reactions. So keep them coming, but absolutely get the reactions because that is the vote. So let's go right live to the thing itself so I can take you behind the curtain, behind the madness. So we're looking at the post here again. Right now it's 9:40 p.m., but it's really probably neat to look behind here. One of these days, I think I'm going to boost one of these posts because look at that. You could get up to 170,000 more impressions by boosting this post, and probably not for a crazy amount of cost. So we, of course, have our post here. We have our slider. The really great thing I like about the slider is it juices engagement because each one of these clicks counts as a click. So that did help engagement be even greater, but it all comes down to below the posts that show company versus company, clap versus light bulb, right? So let's go through these in the order we see them. Let me load them more. So first, let's give you a look into the numbers too. It's probably interesting. So this post has reached nearly 1,500 impressions so far, which is pretty amazing. And just this post itself, right? We're not counting all of the ancillary media, complementary media that aligns with the post, the music videos, the companies sharing on their own, the videos we make, the push, the pull. But on this post, we've reached 1,500 impressions, 1,891 engagements, which is good for a 128.03% engagement rate, almost 1,600 clicks, good for 109 or 108% click through rate, 143 reactions, 132 comments, 18 reposts. Now, when you look at those reactions, though, those are the reactions only on the post itself. Those don't count the actual voting below, so that gets even better. So now that we saw that, let's look at our results here. In the matchup of Umbraco versus Brightspot, which was the 2 versus 15 matchup, but this wasn't a typical 2-15. Brightspot really came on strong. I think they had a little bit of a down seeding round. They might have not been around to do the push or didn't understand how to do it. They did sneak into March Madness as this penultimate pick, right? The 15th out of 16 picks. And I do look at this religiously. I wake up each day looking at all the reactions and looking at all the notifications. I always joke that when I go to pull my phone out when I wake up in the morning and look at LinkedIn, it's almost like looking at a viral TikTok with the amount of notifications you get on reactions, comments, this, that. Very, very fascinating for this time of year that is March Madness in my world. So we look here, and when I was looking earlier this week, Umbraco was way up. And Umbraco had an unbelievable week here. Their numbers were just nonpareil. I think that's the word. They were just unparalleled, and they got way out. And it was a couple days in, and I kind of went back into an earlier post in March Madness when Brightspot had come on the scene when they had been nominated. They were very into the competition. They had a really cool comment where they compared themselves to Steph Curry because I think they came out in 2008 and they were saying they're here to compete. And I remembered that. And so a couple days in, when they weren't really getting up off the board very quickly, I went back and I said, "Hey, Brightspot, what's going on?" I even gave you a light bulb, right, which was unintentional, but it really worked out to have the light bulb for their brand, I guess you'd say. Ever since I put that challenge on that post, they came out with a fury. And watching the vote go back and forth has been very much like college basketball itself. The score is really high. We've had 103 reactions just on this comment. We've had 56 comments underneath. Just this, just this comment has had 3,500 impressions. So think about the fact how I said the post itself has had 1,477 impressions. Just this comment had over 3,500 impressions. It's fascinating. It's like a world within itself within just these March Madness posts. So when I click it, this is the fascinating thing. So we remember Umbraco with the clap, Brightspot with the light bulb, and Brightspot. This looks like a real NBA or NCAA score. Brightspot came out on top 92 to 90 by 2 reactions. And when I did the screenshot at 9 p.m., which was our time, it was actually 91 to 90. So we're talking by 1 vote. There's not enough I can say about the way both of these companies worked this round to get that many votes, to get that many engagements for your brand up against each other. This was no normal Sweet 16 matchup. This is almost a final type of matchup. So nobody should feel bad. Love Umbraco, work with them, know them well. Look forward to getting to know Brightspot a little more. But yes, Brightspot did come out on top 92 to 90. Let's go back to the comment video tape here. Next up, we have Squiz and Contentful, which was the 3-14 matchup. Of course, Squiz won March Madness last year, and they are on track to continue to protect their championship. They won 67 to 16 in the comment or in the reactions. There were 21 replies. This had nearly 2,500 impressions on this post. Hey there, May. We see you with the clap there, or the clapping emoji. So really good job by Squiz. And Contentful really did show up. I was talking to them earlier this week, and they made a nice late surge to get to their vote count. But last year's championship winner Squiz will continue on to the Elite Eight. Next up, we have Kentico against Uniform. Over 2,200 impressions on this comment. Hey, Andrew Kumar, you've been great. We had a good interview with you. You've been a great pusher on this. 74 total reactions. Really, really good number. Kentico has come out on top, 45-29. But as I wrote in a post this week, I want to give all the props to Uniform. They are the engine that could. They have a great product that integrates with many of the products that are in March Madness. They are a positive, in basketball, we say a glue guy, someone who can play all the positions and be really important and become a star when needed, but really fill in very well. They got nearly 30 votes, so tremendous job by Uniform. They did not go out without a fight, but Kentico will move forward 45-29 over Uniform. Next up, we have Magnolia versus our friends from Toronto, Agility CMS. We had 2 Canadian CMS companies in here in Agility and Simplicity, so that's really cool. I guess 2 companies with ITY. I wonder if that's kind of a Canadian thing, ITY at the end. So we're going to look here. Magnolia had a low-scoring affair, but not a bad number to look at here. They had 17, and Agility had 12. Really love Agility. We'll push out their scouting report Great folks up there. But Magnolia will move forward in this. Thank you, Agility, as always, for all of your support, how hard you've pushed, and getting into Sweet 16 and really showing out well was impressive. That had over 2,000 impressions on that comment. Next up, this is how crazy and chaotic this quote walls are, right? Look at this. You got to go find the next one. So next, we're going to look at plate versus remarkable. Nearly 2,300 impressions on this one, 68 total reactions, 6 replies. Plate is with the clapping emoji and remarkable with the light bulb. And plate has come out on top by just 6 reactions. Remarkable made a great fourth quarter run this week, but plate came right back because there was a point, I think there was a funny comment in here where someone said basically, uh-oh, here comes, where was it here? Oh yeah, ouch, the Remarkable fans have woken up. This is going to be a heated battle until Sunday. And that it really was. Remarkable was remarkable. They came on real strong, but plate will move forward to the Elite 8. Plate for 8, as we said here, PL8. Next up, this year's Cinderella darling Flotiq out of Poland, going up against the very imposing Optimizely, a company who's on every quadrant, every wave, really strong product set. Not to say Flotiq isn't, but this is the power of push and the power of a passionate upstart moving along. Flotiq has a very nice scouting report we have up. They also have a mascot, so I'm sure that mascot will be celebrating today because this over 2,300 impression post had 66 for Flotiq and 3 for Optimizely. That is not to say anything bad about Optimizely. Flotiq was really armed to take this round home, so we thank Optimizely. But Flotiq, the number 1 seed this year, really coming out of nowhere. Not to say Poland is nowhere, but coming out of nowhere to win that round, really impressive. And we'll look forward to where they're going there. And then I think this is our last one here. It's chaotic, right? It's a lot of fun looking at this, but we had React Bricks again, Matteo Frana, founder out of Italy. The React Bricks company that could 23 total votes, over 1,600 impressions against the mighty Sitecore. I myself am a Sitecore MVP. Very have a lot of love for Sitecore in this competition, though. Very low scoring competition. React Bricks will move ahead 15-8 to move to the round of 8. So let's take a quick look here on what that means for our matchups. So we will be seeing Flotiq at the 1 seed taking on Plate as the 8 seed in this bracket. Oh, you know what? We forgot Simplicity. This is the craziness with this world here. Where did Simplicity go? Bum, bum, bum. I'm creating all this. I do believe Simplicity. Let's see. Magnolia, Kentico uniform, Squiz Contentful, Umbraco Brightspot. Why don't we do it this way? Let's do the most recent. Then we'll go back to the top. It's crazy when you look at all these comments. Load more. Sorry, I'm leaving us all in an amazing amount of suspense. Where did you go? So, oh, there they are. So Simplicity against Icreon. Again, I was just in Icreon's offices a couple of years ago. Lisa Saltzman's great over there. Met Katon as well. Simplicity, another CMS out of Canada, another ITY. They had the clapping emoji, and they won here 25-3. There's Katon, met him. He gave a great presentation at the Sitecore user group. And Lisa, thank you for taking part. But Simplicity will move forward. It's another new one I've met. Really cool CMS to kind of municipal government. You can read a nice case study a nice scouting report we have on the site about them. And we'll put those out there. So let's go back here. So we will have Flotiq taking on Plate. We will have Simplicity in the 512 matchup taking on Kentico. We will have Squiz taking on React Bricks. And we will have Magnolia taking on Brightspot. So thank you all for everything you've done in this competition. And I really look forward to the Elite Eight. And please, for those who will not be moving forward, continue to ride the wave. Continue to tell your stories. We will continue to share them. We appreciate everybody who has taken part in March Madness and anybody who wants to take part, even at this point. But that will be our Elite Eight again. Brightspot, Magnolia, React Bricks, Squiz, Kentico, Simplicity, Plate, and Flotiq. Have a great night, everyone. The Elite Eight will go live at 8 or 9 a.m. on Monday morning, March 24th. Thank you so much.